Hi, my name's Dennis Martinez, old school skater. My memory of what size Kryptonics I rode back in the 70s was the smallest ones. I believe they were the 60s back then, and right now they got even smaller, the 55s, and those are gems. So back in the day, they were the green small ones. I rode those on vert, and I also rode those for freestyle. The best one is when we went to Boulder, Colorado. When you look at the dude and you've seen he's done movies and commercials, he's a ladies' man. So I always liked hanging around him because there was always a lot of girls. But remember, that's back in the day. I'm changed now. But the Kryptonics ads, there's so many of them. I think I like the ones with the bullets. I think those were, they were in cases that looked like bullets and stuff like that. I think those were the best Kryptonics ad. I could be wrong, but and then they had the one with the formula, foamy kind of stuff coming out and stuff like that. It was like the new formula. Every time the new magazine came out, you know, because the Kryptonics ads were fresh, they were innovative. They weren't just the same old skate pictures and everything like that. There was some thought behind them. The best memory writing Kryptonics was just being on the team. I think if you look back of all the guys who wrote Kryptonics, I mean, all the best names wrote Kryptonics, and so to be one of those guys mentioned with all the greats back in the day, I think that was the key back then. Because Kryptonics were the hottest wheel, everybody wanted to ride for them, but not everybody could ride for them. They always got flowed wheels, but were you riding for Kryptonics? And being one of those team members was, my memory is the best. It's so funny because I'm up here in Dwindle right now, and I looked over and I see Wonder Woman board there, and then next is Rodney Mullins with Superman, and then there's Batman and Flash and all Green Lantern and all those guys right there. I look at that and just thinking back of the Wonder Woman days, you know, I was one of the lucky ones to get picked for the Wonder Woman series. It was called the Skateboard Whiz. And there was just a few of us that went and did that. It was a 2-day film shoot over at Knott's Berry Skate Park. I forgot the name of it, but it's been so long. But going back there, we shot that picture, and it's been one of the highlights of my life being with Linda Carter. Excellent woman, very beautiful, carried herself very well, and all of us back in the day just liked her. I think the best picture of me ever, and I'm going to say this, was at Spring Valley Skateboard Park. And I was doing a channel jump, which is probably one of the first channel jumps ever, because Spring Valley had the only skate park that had a swimming pool. So riding those wheels and dropping in and going the deep end and coming in and doing a backside ollie channel jump is probably the best shot. I can't remember who took the picture, but I am 3/4 of the way already over to the other side, and I'm completely crouched, and I think that was the best shot ever, and I was riding Kryptonics at the time. And then of course the cover of the magazine with Skateboarder, I think that was a classic one right there. You know, the eye looking straight at the camera with the wheel right there. Yeah, I think that's one of the best ones. Jim Goodrich took that photo. Back in the day it was Jim Goodrich, but I liked Glenn Friedman a lot too. So there was Glenn Friedman, because of course he hung out with Dogtown, and I hung out with Dogtown a lot, along with the Z-Boys. But Jim Goodrich was the photographer of San Diego. Grant Britton was excellent. I liked working with all of them, but who I worked with the most was Jim Goodrich and Glenn Friedman. The Taco Bell photo, yeah, that was planned to be an ad. And as you can see, that was the World Championship Cup. And let's see, the U.S. Championship Cup there. And crazy about it is that the U.S. Championship trophy's broken, and I went and paid for it and got it fixed. And then, of course, everybody knows that I sold my World Championship Cup for $500 worth of dope. So yes, that was planned because my last name's Martinez, and I'm not even Mexican. And so they put me at Taco Bell. They just thought it was cool. Doug Marker in my books was the most underrated, and there's a lot of guys that skate that are open and aggressive, and those are the guys that push and push and push their career. Doug was one of those kind of guys that just skated fluent. He won the first Hester series for the most one-wheelers. He placed in the top 7, I believe. always aggressive style, but he was one of those kind of guys that never spoke up. And in our field, and everybody knows in skateboarding, it's the aggressiveness of speaking up, asking for what you want, putting yourself in places like that. Doug didn't do that, and I respect him, but I think that Doug Marker is probably the most underrated skater back in that time. Doug rode Kryptonics. My most favorite three best skaters of all time, okay? So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna narrow it down to 2. Because if I mention a third one, then a lot of other guys that I love and skate with might get hurt. And so I'm not gonna do that. So everybody will agree with me, and they won't have a problem with me saying this. In freestyle, Rodney Mullen. Rodney Mullen is the man. And I know a lot of vert skaters are very glad that he never skated vert. And although I heard he did skate vert, but everybody's glad that he didn't. But Rodney Mullen is my all-time favorite skater. Jay Adams. Everybody's not going to be bothered with that one. Jay Adams, in my book, is one of my all-time favorite skaters. After that, all of them. I love them all.